Hi there. So most of my journeys, as you know, are typically physical ones, exciting things, adventurous stuff, doing. And you could say that this week has been no different, except this week it's been a different kind of doing. More so, the math kind. And if that does seem a little too boring for you, you can feel free to leave, I won't mind. But for those of you who are interested, I'm here in my place of employment to draft up a plan to live by. Namely, the 5-year plan. What's the 5-year plan? This is the 5-year plan. Essentially, here's how it works. Take your paycheck, split it in half. Half of that goes straight to your bills and all your minimum payments. The other half goes to you. So you take that other half of the number, divide it by 30. Easy enough number. That's how much you get. For me, that's $25 a day. You don't spend that money that day, it compounds into the next day. So you get $24 on the first, then you've got $50 on the second, $75 on the third, blah, 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 blah. That way, if you want to save your money off for a great weekend night, you can do that. God, I'm starting to get sick. At the end of the month, it resets, and all the leftover money you have gets distributed amongst your bills again. So half your paycheck is already submitted to bills, and then what's ever left over from your expenses are also submitted. God, I'm not spending like that again. Now I know what you're thinking. What about other expenses like, say you have a technology buying addiction, you always want to have the latest thing? Well, businesses kind of have an answer for that too. A good way to avoid binge spending is to specify days that you're going to do that. For example, on the 1st and the 15th are mine. Not only on the 1st and the 15th, the days where you stop by, take a look at your finances and decide what you're going to buy and if you're going to buy it. But those days are also dedicated exclusively for bill time. So you don't get to think about paying off your bills or paying off your debts at any times except the 1st and the 15th. Now, of course, there are notable exceptions. For example, if you have a bill that's due before that and you haven't checked, then you'd probably run into problems. But hey, this plan is about saving money, not wasting it. Oh, there you are. The way I see it, games are fun. Finances, not so much. You find a way to turn your finances into a game. Nay, you find a way to turn anything into a game. And it not only becomes exciting, but it gives you challenges to accomplish. And what better way to accomplish a goal like getting all of your debts finally squared away? Staring at that number right in the face and saying, I can come up with a way to beat you. Even if you don't even necessarily follow through with it, taking that time to look at everything and say, I can find a way to beat you, is a great feeling. Saying, I can spend $25 a day and I can still find a way to beat you. It's a good feeling. It keeps you in check. It still allows you to have fun, but also gives you enough time to consider the possibility of actually getting into a positive number. And for a lot of people, especially people my age, I like to think that's important. And if you also like to think that that's important, I highly recommend sitting down, taking a few hours and just putting everything into perspective, crunching all the numbers, coming up with your own plan, so that way you realize that any debt you kind of face, you can overcome it as long as you put it in the right perspective. For me, adhering to my plan means that I'll be able to pay off $40,000 worth of debt in only 5 years. And that's if I don't get a gift or any other form of income. It's almost like a sit on your ass and don't change policy. But hey, enough of this money talk. It's time now for the flashback of the week, starring Mr. Tate Sullivan.
Since there's not much of a future there, am I really okay? Let me ask you something. How would you feel if I came down on you hard? You're saying I'm not reading this right. No, I'm saying move the bike. I need to jump on you to break my fall.
Playing with you, Peter. It's fun.
Come on, don't jump on me.
The guards soon became concerned about the paperwork that would be required of them if Job actually did jump.
Sometimes it's exciting and random, and other times it's things that simply need to be done. And that's the general idea of how I like to live. Isn't that right, boss? He says yes.